What's up, guys? Welcome to the Quad with Chris Young. As always, I am Chris. We're going to go in reverse today. Ryan from Miami.
Oh, no.
I want my seat back.
Producer
You
Josh.
don't get it back.
I'm sorry. You are in your seat. You have your seat back.
I want my seat back.
No, you were in your seat.
I think I rightfully proved last week that I deserve to be sitting in that seat.
I don't think people agree with that.
And Haley the Bear.
I will stay in my seat.
Let's kick things off, guys. Who won the poll last week?
Ah, yes. Always the question that we start off with, and you
That
would
you were
think
never ready
that
for.
I would always have this pulled up, but you always catch me off guard for some reason because I'm thinking about something else. So the poll from last week
Maybe it's because you're not in your seat.
was the best movie theater snack that is not popcorn. And I do not agree with this whatsoever. And it is
so it wasn't
complete and utter
yours.
BS.
What won?
Twizzlers won with 34%
Oh
of the
my
vote.
gosh.
Nachos was a close second at 31%.
Yeah,
But
nachos.
whoever these licorice folks are, you licorice lovers, get out.
No.
Get out. Get
no
out.
one goes to
It's
the movie
disgusting.
theater to get licorice.
I'm sorry.
I love licorice.
Is that multiple weeks in a row that I've won now?
Believe you're on
Well,
a heater.
technically, last week, I was the one who brought up Monty Python first. Or was that 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I will say that I believe we were all coming back from Key West when we were watching Monty Python and Holy Grail.
You mean Maui? Oh, no. Oh, when we were watching it.
Yeah.
Oh.
For the record, by the way, the polls are on Twitter. So if you don't follow us on Twitter, it is at the Quad with CY on Twitter. Make sure you go vote there.
I'm sorry it's not on Instagram anymore, but I guess it does stay up longer. So
It
whatever.
gets 6 days
It
instead
does.
of 24 hours. So, a little bit
So
longer,
that
which
we
is-
we have altered that a little bit. By the way, for anybody that is wondering why there's been some inconsistency with posting of the video, because I've seen the comments, I just want to let you know that one of the things that our video editor Monsell does
is everything. He does everything.
Well, he does everything, but he also does a charity down in Mexico. So sometimes when he's editing, it takes a little longer for him to actually send files back and forth.
They are large files, and the
They
Wi-Fi is not as good down there where
Yeah.
he is located.
And he is doing stuff for charity. So just be patient with us. I promise we will get those uploaded as fast as we possibly can.
But it doesn't
And,
hurt to watch anytime during the week, whether you've watched it once, twice, 5 times.
Watch it 10 times this week.
Look,
great.
trust me, I get it. One of my favorite podcasts that I listen to actually gets posted on different days. Sometimes it gets posted, and it's one of the larger podcasts in the world. Actually,
We keep you guessing,
Well, one thing I really like that I see a lot of you guys do comment is they go, we listen first and then we watch. And it's like 2 different podcasts. And I love that. So please do both. If you
You're
have the
welcome to do
time,
both. Yeah.
If you're in the car and you listen and then you go home and you're like, dang, there's nothing on TV. Let me watch the podcast, because it is kind of like 2 different visuals. And
I will say this.
obviously there's only one visual, but you know what
Hold
I mean.
up, Bear. Most
mumbling.
people do not do that.
Quite a few people do, actually. If you read the comments, there's quite a few people that do.
That most people do not do that. So all I'm saying is, for anyone that's trying to watch only on YouTube and you actually get the visual experience to go along with the audio, trust us, we're getting it up as fast as we possibly can. If it moves a day or two, week to week, it's probably because he's inundated with other things.
Mexico.
So he is a great editor, and he's doing really, really great things with his charity.
By the way,
So-
all the intro, all the fun stuff he did for Christmas and the dancing skeletons, that is all our boss-ass editor, Monsell. So, we love
Yes.
you, bro. By the way, 20,000 hours of watch time on YouTube. We just reached that
Ooh,
achievement.
wow.
So, let's go. That's a thank you to all of you guys that are watching. Again, youtube.com/C/.
And we haven't even done it for
Quad.
a year yet, because we started it late because we had some troubles.
I know. So, it's rolling. Well done, guys. Well done.
All right, since this one's going to be short this week, we're going to start with sports.
Sports!
Josh, you have the floor, even though you're wearing the all-red jersey, and I'm very concerned and might go Eagles because you're wearing, and I say that as a Cowboys fan, because you're wearing the all-reds, and Mahomes was limping a lot, so
He was.
I want to hear your thoughts on this. I also... I have thoughts, but I want you to go first. Since this is your team, I want to know what you think.
Where to begin? Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. 3 Super Bowls in the last 5 years, all 5 AFC conference games at home. It's a really exciting time to be a Chiefs fan for the first time in my life. It's exciting to be a Chiefs fan. That game was stressful. I'm
That's
still
an understatement.
I'm still a little stressed out from that game. I didn't get to celebrate in the ways that I wanted to. I was actually just more relieved the game was over. There's a lot to unpack about this game. The officiating was awful.
On both sides.
Yeah. And there are
Not even just your game. Like, even the Eagles game was horrible.
It was. It was a bumbling of a lot of different errors and a lot of non-calls on both sides. And
all right.
My question, why is it getting worse?
No, time out. It's not that it's getting worse. We've seen it. And by the way, they have a thankless job, right? If they get the calls right, the fans of the other team are going to be mad.
Yep.
Because they're going to be like, oh, you shouldn't have called that, even if they should have. And if they get the calls wrong, everybody's going to be mad. So it is a thankless job, okay? What I do want to bring up is I just want, and they talk about this in every sport, especially NFL and NBA. I want consistency. If you're going to let last week's games be a lot of contact
and letting them play,
and then this week it's like, oh, you touched someone wrong on this play, and we're gonna throw a flag.
Mm-hmm. It's like just pick one of those.
Like, okay, perfect example. Into that Eagles game, are they gonna keep that guy out for the Super Bowl? Are they gonna suspend him for the Super Bowl? No, they're not.
Nope.
That's why they threw him out at the end of the game, the very end of the game, because it doesn't matter. I just want some consistency. That's all. And it didn't seem like we had that this week in officiating.
It did not. And there was, it's a hard job. There are calls that, depending on what side of what team you bet on, what team you're pulling for, you can say it on either side going, oh, that should have been a Pacheco touchdown. Why was that holding when this isn't holding? Or why was that a block in the back not called and this was? It's a really tough thing, and we can parse it out. The fact of the matter is, the things that you cannot take away from the Chiefs from this game: 5 sacks, 2 interceptions. There was a 3rd interception that got called off.
Great in pressuring Burrow for sure.
They hit him.
The third interception should have been called off.
It was. Oh yeah, they were super early to it. 100%.
I love that you slid that in there after we just got done talking about officiating, and you're like, "There's a 3rd interception, but it got called off." It should have been called off.
I'm trying to be as impartial as possible, but also I am a Chiefs fan. That you can't take away. Also, his intentional grounding, which he had done 2 other times before they finally called it on the 3rd one because he didn't want to get hit. You can't take those things away. Those are actual.
At that point, I think it's for survival because he was dying on the field.
He didn't want an 8th sack, you know?
I don't know that was intentional grounding. I'm going to say it.
There was a player right there.
There was a guy right there just because his hand got hit while it's coming out of the pocket and like all that other stuff. We're going to get to people's arms getting hit in the next game that we're going to talk about.
Oh my God, that was so crazy.
Yeah.
That was the first.
I think that in a close game like that, where it is 20-20 and that game is literally won on a last-second field goal, those are the games where those calls do matter, and they do turn the game a certain way. And he was being pressured all night, and he did throw some bad throws.
Mm-hmm. Like he also had some amazing throws.
He had some amazing throws.
Unreal.
It was amazing.
Unreal. I think the problem is they called it on that one.
Yeah.
He had done it 2 other times that they probably should have called and didn't call, but they called it on the one
that mattered.
That mattered the most. And that's the hard part is like, did they let him get away with it? And they're like, hey, you can't keep doing this. We're sorry.
Consistency though.
Sure.
Be consistent.
I imagine if they call it the first time, he doesn't do it those other 2 times would be my guess.
I'm also very happy that your team won.
I am as well. I think that the right team won. I think that the Bengals played super hard, but I think what the Chiefs were doing defensively.
I think what you just said
Steve Spagnuolo.
Hey, timeout. It called a great game.
Called a great game.
Yes, he did.
By the way, he's been around since like the land before time, like literally. Steve Spagnuolo in the NFL. That's a reference from my childhood. Anyway.
Yeah.
He called it an outstanding defensive game against Joe Burrow
and Chris Jones and Frank Clark went nuts.
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
Can we also go ahead?
Joe Burrow has never had an O-line, and we've all basically admitted that. Last week it was somewhat decent. This week it was non-existent again. That
I don't know that it was all that good
and you know
last
what?
week either.
No, but it was not as bad as this week. And someone was arguing with me the other day or yesterday because I got on the topic about Justin Fields. They're like, he can't do crap. He doesn't have an O-line. And I'm like, well, look at Joe Burrow. He don't have an O-line. He got a massive injury because he doesn't have an O-line. So what's your excuse for Justin Fields?
All right, if they get Joe Burrow some offensive line help,
that's an undefeatable team.
Here's the problem. Joe Burrow is still on his rookie contract, and they're about to have to pay him, which is going to take
not yet.
They're going to give him
Not
they're going
yet.
to give him an extension this offseason. They're going to. Yeah. Same thing with Hurts. Hurts will get an extension
Correct.
this offseason.
Which means a lot of these, Pirine, some of the defensive.
Wait, time out.
Is it Perrine?
How many?
No,
It's
Pirine.
Pirine.
Dang.
Samaje Pirine, right?
Yeah.
From the University of Florida, by the way.
How many years does he have left?
Should have one
Burrow.
more year on his rookie deal.
So
after
technically
this.
you have a fifth. You could pick up the 5th-year rookie option. They're not even going to get to that. They're going to extend it before that.
Which I think is actually stupid. I actually think that they should wait and pick
I
up
think
his
they
5th
should
year
wait.
because then they don't have to pay him as much and they could keep
Agreed,
reloading
but
around
then you
him.
go yes, but then you've got a
have-
lame duck quarterback, which that's not for all intents and purposes not. But
We're
know
back.
But here's
And
the
then-
thing.
Yep.
Do you want to tell him, hey, we need you for one more year. You've balled out. We're gonna pay you next year.
But what if he gets hurt?
But we got to get.
That's the question.
But
And
here's
that's where the agents step in and go, nope, we need the money now.
Of course. Look, I understand both sides.
Yeah.
Trust me. Do you know how many
Yes,
negotiations I've been in with contracts?
100%.
Same.
I've
Not as
been
many as
in more than you.
but I've been in a number.
Not saying.
I love you.
I've been
I've
in a
been
number.
in a lot more than you.
You have.
And a lot larger.
Yes. The dozens I've been in have been significant in my life, but yes, I do get it.
Yeah. And nowhere near what these guys are doing.
Yes, for
Like,
sure.
I mean, they are dealing with hundreds of millions of dollars, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I totally get that. And I totally get why they're going to press that and try and get it done this year. And you're probably right. But in a perfect world, like, let's say hypothetically, Ryan, you were a Bengals fan.
Oh,
Let's say you were.
probably would be better than being a Dolphins fan right now, though, to be honest.
You
Well,
think it would
no,
be
it
better,
definitely
or
would
it
be
would
better.
I don't know. The Marvin Lewis years were not very good in Cincinnati. At least the Dolphins were like
No,
8-8 all
but-
those years.
No, but you've
Yeah,
only
okay,
had
8-8. So you.
NFL purgatory. Continue.
Yes.
So I'm a Bengals fan.
Thank
now.
you.
Got it.
All right, I'm getting my point across. You're a Bengals fan. What would you want? You would want to load up your offensive line, and there's other ways to do that than just signing people and paying the crap out of them.
through the draft, you
you
can obviously do
could
that.
pay him, but then who do you lose? That's Josh's point, and I agree. If you pay him now, which they're probably going to have to, because you don't want him to go, well, I'm going to sit.
You could probably lose Ogba, the guy who had the out of bounds call there on Patrick Mahomes later in the game.
We'll take him.
Well,
He's
had a
actually
great- he had a
really
great
good.
game
He's really
other
good.
than
He's
that
really
one
good.
call.
Yeah.
And by the way, I think to be honest, I think he just was trying to play to the whistle so hard. I mean, you saw him go down and get hurt.
He didn't deserve the vitriol that he took after that.
No,
play.
no,
because he was
absolutely not.
outstanding for 58 minutes of that football game.
Anyway,
Outstanding.
all of this being said, at the end of the day, Casey is victorious.
If you would have told me at the beginning of the season that our Super Bowl berth was based on Sky Moore returning a punt and then Harrison Butker, who was inconsistent all year.
Oh, we're going with inconsistent? That's what we're going
We're
with?
going to go with inconsistent, or Tommy Townsend's holds were inconsistent, or whatever.
Florida guy.
I would have not believed you. I would have not. I've talked a lot of crap on
Inconsistent is polite.
Well, let me position it forward now because the Eagles, they blow out the 49ers.
Yeah, wait.
Purdy got
Let's-
hurt, all that.
Wait. Time out. Don't gloss over that
Why not?
game because we need to talk about this game.
Ah, come on.
All right.
San Francisco down their quarterback.
I have a question, and I don't want exposition. I don't need you to go like 4 different directions. I don't need you to go 4 different directions. You either.
Squirrel.
I just want a yes or no. Do you think the 49ers win if Brock Purdy doesn't get hurt in the first quarter?
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
I gave you a yes or no. You said you wanted a yes or no.
Or.
Ryan?
Are you in third grade? Come on, dude.
Come on.
No, I don't. I think the Eagles are that good of a team
No.
running the football too. Historically, the best team we've ever seen in the NFL this season running the football. No, they win that game regardless.
I completely disagree with you, and I say this as a Cowboys fan. I assumed the Eagles were going to win this game. That being said, with Purdy getting hurt,
And Purdy's
and the
been
fact
great.
that at the half with a fourth string quarterback, it was still only a 2-score game.
And one of the scores was your third string quarterback fumbling a snap.
Also, that first pass that pass that led them to a touchdown, that was not a completed pass, by the way.
Yeah, the Devontae Smith.
By the way, amen to
Yes.
the quarterbacks, especially this postseason, like really, really battling through injuries to play. I mean, Brock Purdy should not have gone back in that football game and did out of necessity because they didn't have anybody else. Josh Johnson got injured there and got ruled out the rest of the game. They would have had to go on Wildcat with McCaffrey and
Also,
Debo.
with that being said, Brock Purdy deserves the starting position next year.
Tom Brady might have something to say about that. But.
I don't think Tom
Dude,
goes down.
Tom Brady is done. He's
No, he's
done.
not.
No, he's not done.
He's not done.
care-
He
I love
wants
you.
to
I
be
care
on
about
the
you.
team.
I care about you.
I have a theory
I
about
have a
Tom
th-
Brady.
hey,
I
you
care
know what?
about you too.
You know
I'm-
what? I have a feeling he wants to win a Super Bowl with multiple teams.
This
so
is
he's going to do
he already
that.
did. He already did.
No. I think he wants to keep going.
Guys, I'm telling you, we saw the end of Tom Brady this year. He
I don't think so.
played like
I'm sorry. He was going through a divorce.
butt.
He did. You know when else he played like butt? The last season with the Patriots before he went to the Bucs.
He did. Yeah. That
Guys.
last pick by Tennessee.
I'm telling you.
Do you want my theory on
about
Tom
you.
Brady? Or do you want to talk about
Hey,
it?
I care about you too. Tom
Don't do
Brady,
it. I care about
look, are you going to let me give my thought? You're going to piss me off today on this
I care about
podcast.
you. Don't do it.
You
He's going
were,
to play till he's 50.
you were the one running behind eating your breakfast when you walked in here.
I was
okay?
very hungry. Excuse me.
So that's 2 weeks in a row.
I'd like to eat my breakfast. before the
Okay.
podcast.
Can I
Go ahead.
get my thought out?
Yep.
Because it's my thought, not yours. I know you know a lot about sports. You know more about me. Ryan, shut up. You're muted. You can unmute him.
Select the button power.
Just decided.
Do I have to walk to the ocean?
Somebody not watching this is going to think I'm actually angry at you.
Do I have to walk to the ocean?
You can unmute him.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that.
No problem.
Jesus.
Chris, I would love to know your thoughts.
I'm just saying this is a hot take that's not the hot take of the day. I think we have seen the best years of Tom Brady. And I know
The
everybody's
best
like,
years or is he done?
I think he's done. He may come back and play, but I don't think he sees the Super Bowl ever again.
I somehow thought Tom Brady was going to make it to the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. Like, still, I'm like, where's he? Somehow Brady's going to make it in. We're used to seeing that by now.
We're used to it, and I think that it's going to be an adjustment period the next couple of years, even if he plays for 2 more years, because you can put him. I think his decision making was so off this year,
Was it? Okay, so I have a
and
question.
his arm seems like it's lost some velocity. And once that starts happening with a quarterback, those two things, like you can have less velocity on your arm and the right decision making, and you can have the right decision making but less velocity, but you can't have both.
Watch out for Single Tom, though. On a tear. Single Tom Brady.
I do have a point. Personally, obviously, Tom was going through a lot this year, but when it comes to a
But that's
somebody-
wait.
no, no, no,
That's
no,
not
no,
what we're
no,
talking
that's
about.
not the point that I'm
We're not
about to
talking
make.
about Tom Brady getting a divorce. We're talking about Tom Brady as a football player.
Throwing a football.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So, exactly. So, Tom Brady, we're always going to hyper focus on his performance. He is the only player that people want to focus on when he's on a team. So, when it comes down to it, is it all on Tom Brady and his falling skills, or is it on the whole team? Because no one's everyone's on Tampa Bay. All people are talking about is Tom Brady, Tom Brady, Tom Brady. But what about the rest of the team? So is it on just him or is it on the whole team? Is he lacking his skills or is the team lacking in all of their? I mean, Mike Evans didn't do crap.
Whoa! Time out. Mike Evans did have a bad year. Yes. Is that due in part to where Tom Brady was placing the football?
Or is it the fact that they lost a lot of people too?
I think a lot of it goes to Todd Bowles personally, but
Yeah, I don't think Todd Bowles is a very good head coach either.
So why? So we need to stop putting all the blame on Tom Brady and saying he's done, and putting it on the whole team.
I'm not. Wait, you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. And anyone out there that's a Tom Brady fan, Tom Brady is the GOAT. Until someone reaches the level that he has reached and wins the amount of time he has won and has the biggest comeback in Super Bowl history. Like, I am not disparaging Tom Brady. I am saying that in any entertainment, which is what the NFL is listed as.
isn't that interesting?
Any entertainment thing, there comes a time where even if you want to continue doing it, you are not what you once were.
I agree with you. However, I thought that at the end of his Patriots run, and then he looked awesome that first year with the Bucs.
He did that first year with the Bucs.
I
And
think
then
he's
after
on a
that, what?
mission, right? But I think he's on a mission to do a team. To
What is he doing?
He's what?
I think he's on a mission to play and get multiple teams. Like, I think he's kind of like twisted his brain to be like, let me see how many different teams I could take.
All right, I know I keep taking this conversation over, but I'm going to do it one more time. We're literally talking about a guy that's not in the playoffs at this point.
No, but it's not the first time
He wasn't in the divisional round. He's not in the Super Bowl.
But you keep saying he as if it's just him, not the whole team.
But I'm talking about him specifically in his career.
Yeah, he's ready to move on to the next.
Okay, where?
Miami.
There's quite a few teams that
already
are
came
looking
out. Miami's not pursuing him.
There's quite a few teams that
He'll be in Las Vegas.
I think
He'll be in Las Vegas.
I'm gonna. I from things that I'm reading on the internet, because I do not have sources. I'm not an insider. I'm just a purveyor of things on the internet with people that I follow on the internet.
You're my insider.
oh my gosh,
that was weird.
Okay.
Tua has not yet cleared concussion protocol as of yesterday.
Correct.
I think that the Miami Dolphins placed Tua on a 1-year IR for his own health, which lets them write off his contract for insurance purposes, which then opens the door for a 1-year contract for Tom Brady. That is what I think is going to happen.
and then Tom Brady has all the weapons on that team.
Speaking of, spotted 2 days ago, touring a Miami school for his children.
Miami Country Day.
Tom Brady.
I see what you're doing.
All right. I agree to disagree.
Can we do one thing before I am very interested in this Eagles Chiefs Super Bowl matchup.
That's what I was getting ready to ask.
14th time we've had a 1 versus 1 seed. I would have thought that would have happened more, and this will be the 58th edition of the Super Bowl. So 1v1.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Number 2, this is going to be the first time ever that 2 black quarterbacks are starting in Super Bowl history, which is also a really cool, interesting nugget here as we go into Black History Month here in February. I'm really excited to see this game because I think the position has changed. These two teams, the Eagles are back yet again now with Jalen Hurts as their quarterback. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes has an opportunity to cement his legacy even more. This is going to be an excellent Super Bowl.
In honor of Jimmy Allen, as a Cowboys fan.
Oh, wow.
Uh-oh.
And the love that I have for at least, I don't know this guy, but Jalen Hurts is just like the consummate professional and the guy that just grinded it out, got his starting position, and has done everything in the world with it. I'm going to go Eagles. I'm sorry, Josh.
That's okay.
I know who you're going with. You just want to say it for posterity?
I sure do. I don't think the Eagles have played anyone in the playoffs. They played the Giants, and they played a 49ers team that did nothing, obviously, because everyone was hurt.
They were the last undefeated team in the NFL.
I get it. I think that the Chiefs will win by a large margin.
Large margin?
Over 2 scores. Over 2 scores.
Oh, wow.
I'll take that.
I don't want to put money on it. I don't want to bet.
I'll take the bet if the Eagles keep it to 3.
3 scores?
No. So we're going to go plus minus.
Okay.
If it's Eagles plus 3, you're taking this bet. You have to wear an Eagles jersey.
Oh.
Even if the Chiefs win. Do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
He did it. Yeah.
All
he did
right,
it.
let's add this to the list of
He
bets
did it.
that no one has done.
He did it.
I'm the only one who has ever fulfilled my bets, by the way.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
getting to
me
it.
and Josh have something.
We're getting to it.
We got
We're
some
getting
We get a thing to do.
Y'all's are over a year old.
Yeah, we're getting to it. It's
right.
on the list.
Right.
I'm fascinated by this Super Bowl. For one, obviously the quarterbacks are going to be a focus, but Andy Reid coaching against his old team, he's the winningest coach in Eagles history, and one more win away from the winningest coach in Kansas City history. You've got the Kelsey brothers going up the first time we ever have brothers matching up in a Super Bowl. Like, there's so many storylines here as well.
Ryan,
I want to
who
give
are you picking?
I want to give you one stat before
Ryan,
we do this. I
wait.
want to give you
Thank
one
you,
stat before we do this.
Ryan, we've been talking about
One
this
stat.
for
One stat.
24 minutes.
One stat. The Eagles have 39 rushing touchdowns this season. That's the most in NFL history. Can you tell me the team from 1924 that they surpassed?
The Bears.
No.
That would have actually been a very good guess. The Frankfurt Yellow Jackets. So in honor of the Frankfurt Yellow Jackets,
Good. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
I am
Bet
going
against
with
the Chiefs. Keep doing it. Keep doing it.
Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs to win this game.
There it
I
is.
think it's going to be a defensive game, and I think Kansas City's defense is what shuts down that run-pass option for Philadelphia. I got KC winning.
Well, unfortunately for you, Philly has one of the best defenses on the planet.
They do. Best offensive line and defensive line, I think, in the game, too.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
that's kind of what happened in the game against Brock Purdy, is they could not stop that defensive line from getting to
Yeah.
him.
They hit Brock bottom.
Oh my God! All right, Bear.
Well, to be honest, this is not the Super Bowl I wanted to see. So I'm just stuck over here with, well, let me think about this. All right, I'm going to go with the fact that I think Patrick Mahomes' high ankle sprain is going to take a huge toll. Even though he has 2 weeks off, he was not running right these last
He
half.
looked good in the first half. It was the second half that got to him.
He was
So, kind of the strain, kind of like defense starts to wear out. I think he'll start to wear out on an Eagles defense that
So you're
does
going
not
Eagles,
wear out.
is what
that
you're
won't-
saying.
Yeah, just rush me to the point. Eagles it is.
Okay. No, I'm just saying all of us have just been. We went into Tom Brady for 5 minutes.
You heard it here first. Miami Dolphins.
Oh Lord! All right, let's go to music.
music.
All right, guys. Looking for You is officially out there on country radio. It's on all of your streaming platforms.
A lot of ads that first week.
Yeah, and probably going to be this week too. Very, very excited about this song. Got to play it. This is the first weekend out on the new tour. We completely revamped it, which, by the way, is terrifying.
Oh, wait, so
Because-
totally new.
Oh, yeah. Top to bottom, the set is
Let's
completely
go.
different.
Let's go.
The lighting rig looked awesome.
dope.
We had some cool stuff going on.
Yeah.
If you want to go check out part of that, you can go to my Instagram, Chris Young Music. That's the only one I have. All of it is Chris Young Music. Just go there.
With a check mark. A real
I
check
do,
mark.
yeah, an actual check mark. I do want to say thank you to everybody for coming out, because both of those shows were just completely sold, and it was pretty amazing. Went up to New York and Connecticut, so shout out to anybody that came to those shows. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself. We had a blast. There was like one technical hiccup, because we've got some new crew guys. There was one technical hiccup where like the mic went out the second show. Like they were trying to mute my guitar,
Which was right next to your.
and it was right next to my vocal, and he muted my vocal, and I was like, I also swapped something up. I'm playing with both ears in now, which I've never done. I normally have one out, one in.
It's good for you to have both in.
Thank you, audiologist. I
is.
know, but I've always played with one ear out, and so it's an adjustment. And I heard something change because I was getting just enough room through my mic, and I was like, oh no. And so I popped an ear out, and I could tell that I was off, like out front. But the coolest thing happened, and I have to give a shout out to everybody that was at the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. It was during you, and you guys started singing the entire song until my mic came back on.
That's
and that
pretty
is
cool.
the coolest thing of all time. Like it's one thing when you point at everybody or you're like, hey, y'all sing this part, and they do it.
It's another thing to not have to start the song over because they just
kept
it for
singing
you.
it.
Yeah.
They carried me. The crowd carried me.
That's awesome.
And it was so awesome. So shout out to you guys, and thank you so much for making that first weekend just absolutely incredible. And if you haven't seen the show in a while, or you did see the show last year, it's a lot different. So come on out. We're going to have some fun this year.
So looking for you made the set list. Anything else? Any deep cuts make the
All Dogs Go to Heaven. So those are the two new songs. There is, I don't want to give it away because it's so new, but there is a tribute to a famous duo somewhere in my set.
You open with a new song?
I open with a new song.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a lot of new
Wait,
stuff.
so Hanging On doesn't open us anymore, huh?
No, it's not hanging on.
Ooh, okay. I like this.
Yeah,
This is a tease for this is why you got to go check out the tour. New and improved. Still great before, but improved.
Thanks, Ryan.
You're welcome. Hype man over here. I got you.
No, but a lot going on with that. And again, thank you guys so much for just love the first weekend, but also all the love on Looking for You. It's been out. It sounds like it's been out forever because I've been talking about it. We've been teasing it, and there's been so many things out there where you could stream it. By the way, please go stream it, listen to it, request it, listen to it on radio if you hear it on the radio. But it's only technically been out at all platforms for 1 week, which is pretty crazy.
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
You got some shows coming up this weekend too. Gary, Indiana, Mount Pleasant,
Yes.
Michigan.
Yes, we do. So
Love
if
that.
you guys are in the area, make sure that you go by that. We're actually playing a show on Josh Gleave's birthday.
Hey,
February 3rd.
love
This
that.
Friday.
The Hard Rock Casino at Gary, Indiana.
Gary, Indiana.
That's so
Gary,
weird how that worked
Indiana.
out because I remember the year that the Super Bowl was on your birthday.
Yeah,
Yes.
so they moved it once they added week 18.
They added
So
another week.
Weird.
Yep.
I mean, I know that, but it's just weird to think about.
Week 18?
17?
Well,
18.
17 games.
17
but
games,
You have
18.
a bye week for everyone.
18 weeks.
Yeah.
Yes. I was like,
So-
I said that right. Didn't I?
Yeah.
They added
but to
week
most
18,
people,
yes.
most people are going to hear that as 18 games, and there's not 18 games
No,
or
no,
17 games. Unless I'm just way off.
No, it's
17 games.
17 games,
But you
18
have
weeks.
18 weeks
Yeah, so they
because
added,
everybody has a bye.
So they added week 18. We're saying the same thing. It's
Yeah,
just,
Just different. All right. What are you listening to? Bear, go.
All right. Well, somehow I fell in my random mix of music back onto the 50 Shades of Grey soundtrack.
Are you having an intimate weekend?
Because the movie this week had Gerard Butler in it. That's why.
Yeah, it was.
No, but I will say I do love Rita Ora and she's amazing, but I also love Liam Payne. So the song they did together was For You, and it's
Looking
for you. No, it's just For You by
New
Rita
mashup,
Ora
looking
and
for
Liam.
you, into for you, into you.
Okay, so for you, and you know what? Screw it.
That was
It's
really
my
good.
it's my song. I don't care. I'm going Looking for You by me. Put it on there. And I'll double up. I'll pull a Ryan this week.
Yeah. Love when you do that.
A Canadian artist who is here now and is on, I believe, Hot Country right now. Josh Ross on a different night.
Yeah, love Josh.
Yeah.
Good dude.
Opening up for Nickelback.
Yep.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
I was in Los Angeles this last week, which is why I was not here because I was catching a flight, and happened to stumble upon the fact that Hardy was doing a CD release concert on Monday where he split his new record, Mockingbird and the Crow. He did the Mockingbird side at the Troubadour and did the Crow at the Roxy.
Oh, that's really cool.
And they split. There's a song in the middle. If you guys haven't checked out the record, it's kind of a double record. The front half, Mockingbird, is more country.
I mean, it's definitely a double record.
It's definitely a double record. The second half is much more heavy rock leaning. And then there's a song in the middle called The Mockingbird and the Crow, which starts country and ends really heavy.
That is so cool.
And he did the Mockingbird set and did half of Mockingbird and the Crow song and then stopped and then started his Crow show with the second half of the song and then the rest of the set. Anyway, was at the Roxy for it. It was really great. There's a song on the record called Radio Song where he is poking fun at the formulaic side of Nashville songwriting and then goes into one of the heaviest breakdowns on the record. And it's a really clever and it's a really smart song. And I have been listening to it all week.
I feel like we got to get him on.
I mean, we can.
Let's do that.
We
I
can
would
do
love
that.
to talk to him. His
Yeah.
mind is
He's a good dude.
magnificent. Like, I would
He's a
love
good
to
dude.
chat with him.
Obviously, we've written a couple things for
Yeah,
my
I would love
upcoming
that.
record that
That'd be
people
cool.
haven't heard yet.
All right, coming soon on an episode near you. This week for me, I believe his name is Emanate. I believe is the way that you pronounce it. It's EMAN8, but I stumbled across his music. He's got a song called IOU. Love that song. Really upbeat. It's basically talking about all the folks that have supported him, and it's an IOU. So that's my song this week. Emanate, IOU.
Thank you to the fans. Is always good. All right, let's go to movies. Movies. Are you okay over there, Ryan?
Yeah, I
You timed
Spasm.
that like perfectly
Yeah,
to
spasm.
just hit the mic.
Yep.
Right as
my bad.
That's okay.
It's I got a case of the Mondays today. It's. I was in Florida. I was on a boat. I worked yesterday. I was just,
Oh no,
all
you
of
were
it.
on a boat.
I was.
Man, I feel so bad for you.
I know. It was cold though.
That you were on
it was
a
like
boat.
in the 60s.
Oh no. All right, Den of Thieves, 2018 action crime, 2 hours 20 minutes, rated R. Not loved on Rotten Tomatoes, 41%.
Well,
which
Rotten
is weird
Tomatoes,
because
get a grip.
IMDb is 7 out of 10. And 77% of Google users like this movie. I wonder if it's just a little too...
All over the place.
Oh, no, I thought it was
we'll
great.
get there. We'll get there. Nick O'Brien is the hard-drinking leader of the Regulators, an elite unit of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. Ray Merriman is the recently paroled leader of the Outlaws, a gang of ex-military men who use their expertise and tactical skills to evade the law. O'Brien, Merriman, and their crews soon find themselves on a direct collision course as the criminals hatch an elaborate plan for a seemingly impossible heist, the city's Federal Reserve Bank. This was released January 19th, 2018. It's got a lot of people you're going to recognize. Obviously, Gerard Butler,
50 Cent.
O'Shea Jackson Jr., Pablo Schreiber, Meadow Williams, like a lot of people that even if you
A lot of that guys.
off the top of your head aren't going, crap, I know everything they've been in. You've probably seen a bunch of movies they were in. I wonder if the reason that this got such a bad review on Rotten Tomatoes, first of all, yes or
Rotten
no,
Tomatoes.
quick down the line, no exposition, yes or no. Did you like this movie, Ryan?
Loved it.
Yes, absolutely.
Haley?
I don't know.
Oh.
Why?
It was kind of all over the place. I don't know if I like it or if I don't.
Okay, so I'm sort of in between the two sides of the table. For those of you that haven't watched on YouTube, what's that link again, Ryan?
It is youtube.com/C/The Quad with Chris Young. We only have one.
Yeah, make sure to go see that. You guys on my left both loved it. You're not sure. I liked it. I don't love it. Mainly because there's some great scenes in this movie.
The
There's
opening
some
fight
scenes
scene
that,
and the ending fight scene were great.
Okay,
There-
yes. The opening fight scene was there, and then I got so distracted in the next 20 minutes. I was like, what?
You guys are so ADD today. You won't even let me finish my thought.
I'm gonna let you finish, but opening fight scene and fight sequence.
Thank you, Kanye. I appreciate that. This movie to me had two flaws. One, there's some things that just aren't believable.
Time for some spoilers.
The way that Donnie gets in and out of the building is completely unbelievable. Where they're like, you didn't sign in.
And he
And
climbs
they
through all
just
the
let
vents
him
and
go.
everything. Yeah.
And they just let him go.
Yeah.
But then the fact that he climbs through, out of the vent once he does the heist, but that's not how he gets in. Why wouldn't he just go in through the vent?
It's an excellent question.
Very excellent question. Why is he posed as a Chinese delivery man too? I don't know the answer to that question either.
Well, that I don't mind. What I do mind is that he then hands, on top of everything else, hands this woman obviously old food when he exits. And it's like, you don't think she would call down and be like, hey, stop that guy?
Yeah, something's up.
Well, she did, but he carried on and moseyed on his way.
But they let him out.
Correct.
Without signing in.
Correct.
And it's the most secure, never been robbed place of all time. Like
Allegedly. I don't know.
there is a lot of suspension of disbelief here with that, one. And two, Gerard Butler is a fantastic actor. He made the most out of that character, the way that they wrote it.
It's weird.
But it's like there's no good guys. It's like there's
No, it's literally a movie of bad guys. All bad guys.
There's bad guys and bad guys.
Yeah, who do you root for? The bad guys or the bad guys?
And I like the twist at the end,
Twist at the end was great.
but getting to it, there's so many people in this movie where it's like I have no idea what that guy's name is.
It's clunky in that way.
I wish it was smaller groups of people. And I get it. Like, it doesn't really wrap up until the very end of the movie to explain all of it. If you guys watch this,
but your brain is moving a million miles a minute when it's not like the Tenet where you're like trying to think about stuff. It's
God,
just
I loved
like
that movie though.
that was so good.
no, but that's what I'm talking about. That was good where your mind is moving. This one's kind of just like, who is that? What does he do?
By the way, for anyone listening, it's just Tenet, not the Tenet. That's the whole point of the title of the movie. Is it forward and backward? It's the same thing.
Oh, I didn't realize that until this moment. Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Are you serious?
I swear to God. So I picked this movie, and I found it very interesting. By the way, when you think of bank robbery heist movies, Inside Man and Den of Thieves, I think of those two movies. Inside Man, kind of similar, not starring Gerard Butler. I actually thought it was, but it's actually starring Clive Owen, which I didn't realize. I thought that was Gerard Butler. Two very similar. I always loved Inside Man. I actually really liked Den of Thieves. I liked this movie. I know that there were a lot of actors involved and you were kind of trying to figure out what the plot line was, but I was wondering, how are these guys going to get away? Like, the intrigue to me was they are pulling off the greatest heist of the Federal Reserve we've ever seen, and they're getting away with it. And then obviously you have the chase scene in traffic. I thought that was a great scene, the shootout between the two. But the twist at the end with Donnie,
I liked
that
the
is
very
cool.
end.
That was awesome.
I
was
liked
like,
that part.
Damn, he was the mastermind all along.
Well, and the
Very
fact
usual
that,
suspectsy. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And one more time.
Time for some spoilers.
Came out in 2018.
I know, but some people watch stuff late, so I'm just giving them a warning.
All right, I like it.
The fact where he's like the British accent at the end, he's preparing another heist, and he's got a different pub. I was like, okay,
Yep.
I like that part.
Yep.
I just think there were some parts that were clunky.
Coming from a bartender, it's true. You don't even have to be talking to the person, but you're a professional eavesdropper.
I know not to talk around you now.
Uh-oh.
The sad part is when you're drinking, you don't think about
That's
who's
true.
around you besides the person next to you.
True. A question I had, thoughts on 50 Cent's role in this movie. I actually thought he did a really good job.
Well, he produced it.
Oh, I didn't realize that. He
Yeah, he
co-produced
was
the movie?
he was the producer.
I was.
He
I mean,
didn't co-produce. He was the producer of this movie.
what other movies has he acted in? Because this was one of my first forays where I saw him in a full film. and he
There's
was
a
really
couple,
good.
but obviously he's got more TV shows
Yeah.
than he does movies.
I thought he was really good in this movie, and I was wildly impressed with his acting skills in this movie.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't have a front role to kind of be a supporting actor in this film. I thought was really good.
But I think that was why, because he was producing it, he didn't want to be the
Yeah.
But
The
like
lead guy.
the scene with the kid coming over for prom or whatever.
yeah,
Like that's been all over TikTok.
that was great.
That's all over
That was
TikTok.
great.
You'll see that a lot.
Yeah, it was awesome.
All right.
Thought it was a good movie.
But you liked it?
I do. Yeah. I like heist movies.
So here's the weird thing.
You're a heist
I could
guy?
give you a heist movie you would not like, or at least Ryan wouldn't like.
Italian Job.
Is it a scary heist movie?
So
There actually is a scary heist, like maybe not Netflix series, but it's a heist series. It's really good, but it's in Spanish. I had to read subtitles all the time.
Army of the Dead, which is a zombie film, but it is.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
Oh,
Neither
all
did I,
right.
Siri. Oh, that's mine.
Yeah, that's not me. I don't have Siri on.
Oh, wow.
I don't want her listening to me. I'm sure she does anyway.
She's listening to our heist.
I think, did we watch that?
Zombie of the Dead. What is it?
Army of the Dead?
I don't think so.
Also, when does Ant-Man come out?
The 17th.
Yeah, not yet.
Why did I
Oh,
think of the
it's-
third?
With Dave Bautista.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Is this the in
So
Vegas? This is takes place in Vegas, right?
and they
we did
also,
see this.
yeah, we did.
Yeah, we saw
did use
this in theaters for a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they did another one with the guy that's the safe cracker.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah. So, and I am not even going to try to pronounce his last name. Is Matthias Schweighöfer?
Yeah. Nailed it.
But he did a movie called Army of Thieves, which is basically
Not Den of Thieves.
no, it's
Den of Thieves
it's
with an army of zombies. Zombies are stealing
It's
from this
basically
thread.
just a heist movie. So I haven't watched it yet, but I don't believe there are zombies in this one. He's just they basically hired that guy that was in Army of the Dead, and it's called Army of Thieves. It's a thriller, and they hire him to do an impossible to crack safe everywhere across Europe.
That's kind of cool.
I like that.
I mean, do we want to shoot for that for next week?
Where is it at?
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. Sure.
All right. We're
Heist
going to
month.
another heist movie. Heist month.
Heist month.
Army of Thieves.
Army of
So,
Thieves. I like it.
It is rated R. Just heads up for everybody. And again, I have not seen it. So if it's rated R, I'm sure there's plenty of violence and stuff. We'll try and go to something a little more family friendly after these two.
We don't have to do family friendly.
Yeah, but we can.
We got to balance, you know?
Yeah, there's got to be a good balance in there. So, Army of Thieves for next week. That's what we're doing. Let's go to the hot take.
Hot take!
All right, so we were trying to come up with a hot take this week, and sometimes this is more difficult than others.
You guys would be surprised how much we belabor how to do these, or if we've already done some of these.
I mean, this is podcast 151.
151.
We've done a lot.
Our group chat is always like, okay, have we done this yet? No, let's do it.
And if we retread something at some point, then just please, dear God, forgive us. But what we are going to do today is a very interesting one. And I believe that we're framing this, Rye, because we were talking about it last night, as most underrated actors still alive. So we're not going like way back into the vault of people that did, Westerns and that were just underrated and were in a whole bunch of movies. We're going people that are still alive. And I would say, do we categorize it as still active as actors?
Sure.
Like still
Yeah,
doing
sure not.
Yeah.
TV or movies. So, most underrated actor still currently acting.
Okay.
Is that
I
a good way to say
Yeah,
it?
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
You can tell we're like when we
Planning
Well,
on the fly.
but yeah,
we
we
get
because
specific
we
on-
want to be specific, just so that it's not somebody comes in over the top in the comments and stuff, and they're like, "You forgot about so and so." And I am going to go with a probably very surprising actor for most people, Jonah Hill.
Oh, okay. That's a good one.
interesting.
And the reason that I say that is everybody goes, he plays himself in every movie. He's the guy from Superbad. But that's not true, because
He was incredible in Wolf of Wall Street.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Let me have my hot take, guys.
Man, money.
So, Ryan,
Jesus, man.
like, what is up with you today?
Trying to get my energy out.
Okay. Jesus. Superbad, 21 Jump Street, The Wolf of Wall Street, War Dogs, Moneyball, obviously, which Ryan already stepped on.
Cha-ching.
This is the end. He was in Megamind as a voice. Get him to the Greek, which is
So great.
a lot for most people, I understand. True Story with James Franco. He was in Click. How to Train Your Dragon. Django Unchained.
He was in How to Train Your Dragon? I didn't realize that.
He was a voice in How to Train Your Dragon. He was actually
So why do you think he's underrated?
it's not loud. I think he's underrated because a lot of people go, yeah, it's the funny
It's just the
comedic
funny guy.
relief, but he's not that in a bunch of the movies that we just named. He is that in some things. True Story, he's not. He's not that in Moneyball. He's not that in War Dogs. He's not that in Wolf of Wall Street. Like, I mean, he is a phenomenally talented actor and can also be the character actor and can also be the funny guy. I just think he's so malleable and he's done so many things that people just forget about it. And then they're like, oh, yeah, Jonah Hill, he was the guy in Superbad.
He was insanely good in Wolf of Wall Street to the point where I forgot that it was Jonah Hill for a while.
That same thing with Moneyball
Yeah.
to me. But I mean, that's my point. That's why I say I think he is the most underrated currently working actor in Hollywood.
Apparently, he has a really good movie that just came out with Eddie Murphy on Netflix.
Called You People?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
supposedly really good that we might want to add to our list at some point because that one's gotten some good reviews. That's a good one. Jonah Hill.
Yeah. Who wants to go next?
I'll go. I only say she's one of the most underrated actresses, I should say.
Actor works too.
But because people, when they think of her, they think of one or two movies, but she's had quite a few great movies that people forget about, especially how she got her start. I'm going to go with Rachel McAdams. Everyone wants to think of The Notebook, and then they forget that she was Regina George in Mean Girls. But she actually got her start on The Hot Chick, which low-key hilarious movie. So that's how people started to know her. But also The Time Traveler's Wife, Doctor Strange, Wedding Crashers. She has a whole list of great movies that she's been in. But people, like, she kind of does something really good and then disappears, so people forget about her. But she still consistently stays a great actor. She could be the comedic relief like in Game Night, or she could be the epiphany of what a chick flick is and a love story like a Nicholas Sparks or whatever. So I just think she's very underrated in the roles that she's played. Again, if any of y'all have ever seen The Time Traveler's Wife, that movie
Saddest movie of all time.
is phenomenal though. And
It's so
obviously
going on there.
The
So good.
Notebook, obviously The Notebook, The Vow is amazing with Channing. Is that
Channing
Channing? Yeah, it
Tatum.
is Channing
Yep.
Tatum. And then Wedding Crashers, like she's just the girl next door and plays. It's just everything she does is amazing. And if the legendary Regina George. So
It's a good pick.
Josh?
I was on the fence between two, but as you were talking, one really like resonated with me, and I was like, oh man, this really is probably who I want to pick. I'm not going to set it up other. I'm just going to read some of these titles, and then I'm going to tell you who it is. Hoffa, What's Eating Gilbert Grape, Boogie Nights,
All right, I know who it is.
Thin Red Line, Never Been Kissed, Magnolia, Perfect Storm, Gangs of New York, Chicago, Anger Management, The Aviator. You get through all of these really incredibly serious movies, and then all of a sudden you get into Talladega Nights and The Dictator, and all of a sudden John C. Reilly, you kind of go, man, this dude has been killing for a long time.
he has been in so.
He's been in so many great movies.
And he's also in Josh's favorite movie, Guardians of the Galaxy.
He is in that movie. You know, everyone's allowed a bad one every once in a while.
It's
obviously,
not bad.
obviously, no one can bat 1,000. But John C. Reilly, ultimate that guy. When you see him in a movie, you're just like, how is he here?
I don't know if he's underrated though.
No, I don't think
I don't know if
anyone's.
that
not in the
counts
he's
because
not in
we're
the
not talking
pantheon.
about the not leading man most of the time that's been in the most movies. We're saying most
But
underrated.
he's not even in the pantheon of like a.
When people say best actors of all time,
Like you would never think John C. Reilly, but then
has he ever
even
won a Grammy? Not a Grammy.
A
Wow.
Grammy.
definitely not a Grammy.
an Oscar.
Thank you.
I have no idea. But
So Josh's 5 favorite actors of all time is I love that I just stumbled over favorite.
You did. I was going to say
I know,
something.
everybody looked at me too.
It was good.
she said
5 favorite
epiphany instead
actors.
of epitome, but we
Yes,
let that one go
it's fine.
too.
It's fine. Of all time is Tom Hanks, and John C. Reilly.
Honestly, I'll take that.
Okay.
I was going to say, you know, when you think of Will Ferrell, you don't think of John C. Reilly anywhere near his stratosphere. Yet I do think John C. Reilly falls into the underrated
The
category.
funny thing is, I think everyone finds Will Ferrell funnier
It's
than
'cause he's
John C.
always the
Reilly.
leading man.
But John C. Reilly has played a lot more serious roles.
He was a serious actor before he did comedy for like a decade or more.
I see his face though, and it's hard to take him seriously.
Oh, it's hard. You rewatch like Gangs of New York,
you're looking
and
at him, you're like,
he comes in, and you're just like, "What joke are you about to?"
I just want to laugh. I just
Yeah.
want to laugh.
All right.
So mine comes from, and it was spurred on by watching 50 Cent in this movie. Now I don't consider him an underrated actor, but I was like, who also stars in a role like this that I think could be complimentary? And mine comes from Martin Lawrence. Martin Lawrence to me
What?
is
By the
one
way,
of the most underrated actors of all time.
No.
Yes, and here's why. I think he was excellent in Blue Streak. I think he's been fantastic in the Bad Boys films as a compliment to Will Smith. I think
You
Martin
major
Lawrence,
tent poles.
Martin Lawrence to me is funny.
He had a TV
he
show
plays
called
a
Martin.
He plays a fantastic role. Martin Lawrence to me,
yeah,
incredibly
immediately
underrated.
disqualified for
No,
if you have a
incredibly
television.
underrated.
If you have a television show named after your first name,
Yeah,
you're
but you
out.
don't think him as one of
It's
the greatest
fine.
actors. He's an
It's fine.
underrated
Just
actor.
just hit the button. Thank you guys for listening this week. As always, from the quad, I'm Chris. From Haley, Josh, and Ryan, who evidently thinks Martin Lawrence is underrated. Please do not vote for that.